Yo, your boy Rodimus here, back with a new video. I know it's been a minute since I've dropped a video, but on today's video, I'm here to talk about the WWE releases that happened last week post WrestleMania. Now they've been doing this for a few years now, and we had a bunch of people that got released last week, including one that pretty much shocked the whole world, including myself. So let's just jump right into it. It was like over 20 people that got released from WWE. Some of them NXT talent, most of them main roster talent. Main roster talent have 90 days as far as no compete. NXT talent with 30 days. So like I said, let's just jump right into it. I'm going to start off with Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. Now, Zelina Vega was on her Twitch going off on Sean Ross Sapp about her release and all that type of stuff. And it really sucks. You know, at one point she was queen of the ring. She was a women's U.S. champion, didn't have a long title reign and stuff like that. But she was champion for a short while. And she really hasn't been utilized unless she was paired with her husband, her real life husband, Aleister Black. And as far as Aleister Black is concerned, you know, that's just weird, bro. I don't know how y'all feel, but that's just weird. Dude just came back last year. And a year later, or almost a year later, he's gone. So, you know, I'm hoping he finds somewhere. I could see him going back. I could see him going to TNA as Tommy End, because that's what he was before he came to WWE. So who knows what will happen with those two. It's just unfortunate that they were released, if you will. Then we'll move on to the entire Wyatt Six. Bo Dallas, Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, even Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross, I can't even remember the last time she had a match. Like, I'm not being funny. I really can't remember the last time she had a match. The Wyatt Six, you know, they were an attraction for what they were. They had that boring FTs for the tag titles and the lantern. And I was just so tired of that. That was one of the worst. That is one of the worst feuds I have ever seen. I don't know how y'all feel, but that is one of the worst feuds I have ever seen in my life. But it's unfortunate that they got released. Just me personally, I get that they wanted to honor Bray Wyatt, but at the same time, you know, I feel like they just failed him. I feel like they failed him. I'm not saying with the group, with just the lack of suspense, if you will, is what I'm trying to say. The aura had died a while back, you know, and even this feud with the MFTs, the aura or lack thereof definitely failed when it came to the Wyatt Six. So the entire group has been released. The Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, they came in with the first 2 weeks they were tag team champions. I mean, I know they had that incredible match at SummerSlam. You know, at one point, SmackDown's tag team division, which is dead now in the same way for Monday Night Raw, their tag team division was somewhat good. I mean, you had Ciampa and Gargano, you had the Street Profits, MCMG, you had Pretty Deadly before one of them went out with an injury, so on and so forth. Even the Wyatt Six, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it just sucks that they got released, and I don't really think the WWE crowd got behind them like they expected. I could definitely see them going to AEW. You know, they're TNA legends for sure, so it's, you know, it's just one of those things where they got brought in and thought they could get some fanfare, which they did, to be fair. But ultimately, the fans really, I don't really think the fans got behind them. I've always been a fan of the Motor City Machine Guns. They're one of the best tag teams of this generation right now. So, you know, it's just one of those unfortunate things. Let's see. Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar was once a part of the LWO. He did some things in TNA, not TNA, but NXT, as the leader of Legado del Fantasma. He was in AAA off and on. He's currently injured, so that sucks, you know, for him to get released while injured. So hopefully somebody will pick him up. I can see him landing. I don't know if he's done some work in New Japan. I could definitely see him going to New Japan. You know, it's one of those things, you know, I don't want to sound cliche like everybody else. Well, this person should go here, this person should go there. But I can see where New Japan kind of picks him up, you know. So hopefully he can land back on his feet. I know he's going to land back on his feet. So it'll be interesting to see once he's healed up where he goes and what he does. Who else we got? Apollo Crews. Man, has this man survived cuts or what? Apollo Crews was once the U.S. champ, the Intercontinental champ. You know, he was basically relegated to main event, as if anybody watches that. I don't know if anybody watches that. If you do, kudos to you. But yeah, man, he got released for like, what, the second or third time or whatever. So, you know, he was another one that was on the list. He was another one that bit the dust here. Who else we got? Andre Chase. Andre Chase, the leader of Chase U. Chase U was definitely a thing in NXT. It got over somewhat with the fans. They weren't using him much, you know, after the original Chase U broke up and stuff like that. So, you know, who knows where he'll go, you know. So we'll definitely see how things turn out with Andre Chase. Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark is another one. Now, I'm not a big fan of Zoe Stark. Not saying she's bad, let me be clear. But she's decent for what she is. She recently got hurt. She got hurt with that nasty injury last year. And she was apparently cleared to wrestle, but she got cut. You know, WWE, TKO, whoever made the decision basically said, unfortunately, we're going to have to let you go. Which, it definitely sucks. So, I mean, maybe TNA, AEW. You know, I could see AEW trying to pick her up. I know Tony Khan likes to pick up or likes to sign ex-WWE talent to an extent, kind of like what Eric Bischoff did back in the day. But I could see her in AEW giving the women's division a little boost. So, you know, I wouldn't mind her seeing her there. As I'm going down the list, Alba Fire, the former Kaylee Ray. You know, she was a part of Chelsea Green's crew, the Secret Harvest. She was the longest reigning NXT UK Women's Champion of all time as Kaylee Ray before she got the name change. So, you know, what will she do? Where will she go? She's definitely good. She definitely didn't do much since being paired up, and I don't think they really had her wrestling much, which is very unfortunate. So, yeah. Who knows where she's gonna go? Who knows where she's gonna land? I could see her in TNA. I could see her probably in Japan or AEW. Who knows? So it's just one of those things where when you're not being really utilized, even though you're on TV, it's still unfortunate. And unfortunately, she was on this list. The biggest one out of all is Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane, who got cut before, she came back once Triple H got back in power. She got cut again. And she was in a story with Asuka. Asuka had her, I guess, under her wing, as you can say, bullying her and stuff like that. And the payoff was going to be Kairi Sane finally sticking it to Asuka, finally standing up to Asuka. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Now, I did see something before recording that Dave Meltzer said that she wanted to move back to Japan. We don't know that to be true. We don't know that to be false. It's Dave Meltzer. Sometimes he's wrong. Sometimes he's right. Most times he's wrong is what I'm trying to say. Who knows? Either way, Kairi Sane is not in WWE anymore. Now, if you watched Monday Night Raw last night, the match has been made official. Asuka versus Io Sky. Asuka helped Becky Lynch retain her Women's Intercontinental Championship against Io. And Asuka attacked Io after the match. So that was a way to set the match up. But it would have been nice had we got that payoff with Asuka and Kairi Sane. Unfortunately, we're not gonna have that happen. Don't get me wrong, Io Sky, Asuka, I'm here for it. That could have been the WrestleMania match or one of the WrestleMania matches, but it is what it is. So yeah, Kairi Sane is definitely going to be missed, not only for the fans, or not only from the fans, but also, you know, I've read some stuff where talent were kind of frustrated with her being released, but unfortunately, it is what it is. Now, just some of these other names. Tyra May Steele, who was one of the winners of WWE LFG, she got released. Serena Kenton, Tyson, Tyreek, Malik Blade, Trill London and Luca Crucifino, who I see has announced his retirement from professional wrestling. So best of luck in whatever he does in his life, in his career. And I think I'm missing some other names here, but I just want to give my synopsis, my opinion, my point of view, if you will, on these WWE releases. But yeah, this was happening during SmackDown last Friday. Is that not crazy? But nonetheless, y'all let me know what y'all think about these releases. How do y'all feel about these releases? I've seen what Bully Ray and others have had to say, but it is what it is. Y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all, as I always say, like, share, comment, subscribe. This has been my point of view, if you will. I'll be back with you for another video as soon as I can. My name is Rodimus, and I'll see y'all guys next time.